Hello, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Myra Ansari here for Wave Now. We are jumping into a press conference that's happening today about significant UPS construction project that's going to be announced. Let's listen in.
Thank you for that. We also have the Louisville Muhammad Ali Airport Director, Dan Mann, and Chairman of the Board, Dale Bowden. And I will tell you this couldn't exist. This backdrop couldn't exist if it wasn't for the great partnership and the work that you all do, not just with this, but making sure that we can land flights each and every day. So thank you very much for your leadership and your support. We have Louisville Ford Director of Economic Development, Ben Moore, with us here today. Ben, I can't tell you how many times we've called you, either short notice, long notice, but you've been there every step of the way with us for at least 10 years. So thank you all very much for Louisville Forward for all of your efforts. I see Councilwoman George here, who represents this very district that we're in and most of the facilities within the airport park that we operate. So thank you very much for being here as well. We have Greater Louisville, Inc. President and CEO Sarah DeVasher Wisdom from GLI here. GLI has made a mark on being a regional player in economic development for this region, and also a great advocate for us in Frankfurt and around the state. So thank you very much, Sarah, for your leadership. And I know we have many employees in the room. I said earlier that they're the special sauce. So I'm going to actually ask, and I know some of them are standing out here, if you're a UPS employee, stand up, please. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much for your support and your continued partnership. Now on to our program. Our first speaker is UPS Executive Vice President, who leads all UPS U.S. operations, Nando Cesarone. A member of the company's executive leadership team, Nando oversees all U.S. small package, transportation, and airline business units, as well as U.S. sales and the company's automotive and global and business and systems engineering. That is a lot to say. I don't even know how you could be here to do this today, right? That seems like a lot. So with that, Nando, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Nick. And look, I apologize for the noise in advance. We're busy expanding, as you can see. So this is the crown jewel of our UPS global network. Nothing happens unless Louisville is working and is on time for UPS. And our employees and everybody who actually makes this happen day in and day out do a wonderful job of making sure that we're delivering to our customers a product that is valued, that allows us to continue to advance here and across the globe. So thanks very much for all the support. I do want to extend a special thank you to our guests from the Commonwealth, Louisville governments, for being here today. Governor Beshear, thank you very much. Senate President Stivers, Speaker Osborne, and Mayor Fisher, thank you for everything that you've done and all the support that we do together in trying to grow these businesses. Also want to thank the local chamber representatives, airport leaders, and Kentucky economic development officials. Without the support, I don't think we could be the company we are today and what we represent here in the great state of Kentucky. I also want to recognize the real heroes, and those are the UPSers that work tirelessly day in and day out. And I don't like to talk about the last 2 years because it's definitely unfortunate as to what happened. But these people moved vaccines, over 1 billion vaccines doses across the entire globe. And Louisville was central to that happening. Without this network, we couldn't accomplish what was accomplished in that time period. These projects are also, not possible without the partnership of the city of Louisville and the Commonwealth of Kentucky and great community leaders that are all here today. And we appreciate you spending a little bit of time with us. Ours is a partnership that has spanned decades. In fact, next year it will be 35 years. From a small operation, we sorted one package to 2,000 packages in the early 80s, and we've got 5.2 million square feet of global space here that serves our worldwide customers, with over 12,000 UPSers that sort those packages every single day in our facility. It's also the home of UPS Airlines, major operations within UPS supply chains, and also our healthcare operations, which continue to expand in the vicinity. In fact, including the projects we're talking about today, UPS has invested more than $1.2 billion and created more than 6,200 jobs in Kentucky in the last 5 years. Congratulations. More importantly, with UPS and the partnership we've developed, we've been able to attract nearly 250 companies to do business here because of this airport and because of the service that we can offer these customers, end of runway, and services that are fulfilled throughout the evening and then injected into our global network. So that also has contributed to about 62,000 indirect and direct jobs to help the economy here. Of course, when we think about Louisville, this is a world-class supply chain, and it really is connecting the globe for us. There is rapid growth both in e-commerce and our healthcare industries, and we want to make sure that we bring the best jobs and the best careers here that are actually, I want to distinguish between careers and jobs. UPS creates careers. This is not just a transactional job. It's actually a place where you can find a job and then turn it into a career for a long, long time. And we're really proud of that. Jim mentioned earlier that we've got some projects that we've been working on here. I want to share just a couple to make sure that everybody understands where we're at here in the near term. In 2019, we announced plans for a $220 million aircraft hangar, which is right there. I'm sure it's going to look much better when it's done. Right now, it's just steel and scaffolding. It's around 275,000 square feet, and it's going to hold 2 of our 747-8s, which we've just added to our fleet in recent years, the biggest and most efficient aircraft that can be purchased. We're also investing in 2 new supply chain healthcare facilities here in Jefferson County and one in the Louisville region. The facility projects total $334 million in investments, and we're going to create 435 high-paying jobs between the 2 counties. These 2 1 million square foot facilities are going to be added to the 21 existing supply chain facilities already here in the region operating. So great job by everybody that manages. We're also announcing today the expansion of our Global Aviation Training Center. With this $78 million project, the center represents the future of aviation, training, and education, and will house 4 state-of-the-art flight simulators. Maybe once they're up and running, we can invite everybody to take a shot. What stays or what happens in the simulator stays in the simulator. So I'm told I haven't done quite well in any of them. So I'm not going to ever try it again. But these simulators are lifelike, and it's actually, it feels like you're in an aircraft and actually flying the airplane, if you can fly the airplane. But really cool stuff. The investments from the flight simulators to the hangar to the supply chain and healthcare facilities help us continue providing our customers with safe, reliable, on-time service. And the real key indicator, though, here for UPS and what means a lot for myself, and I know the leadership at UPS, is the fact that our people are number one. We're the largest employer in Metro Louisville, and more than 25,000 UPSers, 30,000 in the state. And in case you haven't heard, we're hiring. It's peak season, so we're hiring another 100,000 across the country to make sure we can deliver during the most important time for our customers here during the Christmas period. And these are good jobs. These are industry-paying leading wages. On average, as an example, we pay our delivery drivers $95,000 per year in wages. That doesn't include pensions and benefits. We pay our feeder drivers or tractor trailer drivers $112,000 plus pension plus benefits, and our part-time employees earn an average of $20 an hour after 30 days. They also receive the same health care benefits as our full-time employees, which I think is a great proposition for part-time employees, students, and family alike. Not to mention, a seasonal role can be life-changing at UPS. Nearly 35,000 seasonal employees from last year are now full-time employees this year at UPS. And we actually have about 138,000 UPSers currently that started during the peak season drive. So these peak seasons actually lead to full-time careers at UPS. Given the part-time nature of much of our work, especially at Worldport, many UPS jobs are ideally suited for college students. So tuition assistance is an important part of our Global Rewards program. We offer education benefits throughout the U.S., but unique to Louisville, we offer tuition-free college education to employees who work nights and in our next day operation. In our Metro College, half the student tuition is paid by the state and participating universities. The remaining half is paid by UPS. This is an award-winning partnership with the Commonwealth and City of Louisville. UPSers who participated in the program have earned more than 13,000 degrees and certificates. And finally, I didn't grow up here, but I could tell you, after 33 years of UPS, I kind of run the same similar story. I started as a student. I saw a brown truck, and it was advertising tuition reimbursement, and so I applied. And the great culture and the great company that this has become and continues to be is what attracted me, and hopefully attracts many, many of the people that live here in the state of Kentucky. This is a superb company that creates careers and really is a dream come true. We call it the fairy tale at UPS, because you can start here loading package cars, as I did, and then eventually lead to something much greater. So thank you for everything, and thank you for all your support and allowing us to do what we do day in and day out to serve our customers. It wouldn't be possible if not. This has been a great, great place for UPS for 35 years, and we continue to expand and make sure we're investing here to grow our business. So thanks. Nick, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Nando. And next up, I'd like to introduce Mayor Fisher. But before he comes up, I'm going to make a few comments, because this is the last time we'll do a press conference, most likely with the mayor. And a little story. In your first term, I'll never forget, you were 2 years in. We're sitting over at our UPS Healthcare Supply Chain Solutions campus. And you said, Nick, it'd really be cool if you were able to co-locate the people doing the research and doing the lab testing right next to where you're doing the distribution. And I'll be darned if it's not the second to last month before you leave office and we finally get it done. So with that said, we've had a great partnership for your over your tenure, and we can't be more thankful for your support over the years. So welcome, Mayor Fisher.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, we've both been around for a while, but it's amazing what happens with UPS. I can't tell you how many people in the city have said, Mayor, what is being built out there at the airport? What is that big building? I said, if it's big, it's UPS. So people really appreciate UPS being the largest employer here in our city, and so many things, so many careers have started here and finished here and are flourishing here as well. So this is another great day in our city, especially as we covet this position we have as the world leader in logistics, and ensure that UPS is that employer of choice and will continue their historic investment here in our city. I mean, today we're just going to be saying lots of big thank yous to UPS and everybody here for the organization, because you guys have made huge commitments to us, and obviously we've made huge commitments to you all as well, and I'm just thrilled to see the way it's working. With this investment here today and others announced this year, Louisville is nearing $2 billion in investments in 2022, making it one of the top 2 years for economic development during my administration and in the history of the city as well. We've had some great years, and UPS has been right in the middle of a lot of these. I'm proud to say that in my final months of mayor, knowing that my administration and the work they've done, our economic development team at Louisville Forward, I want to thank Ben Moore. I want to thank Jeff O'Brien, all the folks that have come before them for making this happen. Our airport authority, and you mentioned this, Nando, these are can-do folks. So, Dan, I want to thank you and the team. We know that UPS is central to our mission here. And when there's opportunities, I know you guys have seen the way that we've jumped right on top of them. And we'd like to think we give every customer concierge service, but I know we give you all concierge service, okay? We've we fought and won a lot of economic development battles over the years of my administration, almost $13 billion now. And we expect a couple more significant announcements before the year is over as well. So we're excited about that. We've added over 80,000 new jobs, 3,000 new businesses. You mentioned 250 associated with the UPS investment here. Everybody should think about that. That means about one new company every 2 weeks is locating here because of UPS. So it's a phenomenal value add for our city. You've seen the city's skyline change. We've attracted 2 professional soccer teams to our community. We almost won the national championship last night. We came a little close, but it was a great season for Louisville City. We certainly have improved education access and attainment and have helped bring $1.5 billion to the west end of Louisville that had been disinvested for far too long. So we started all this during the Great Recession. That's when we had our discussion about co-locating some of the work. So we got to work making Louisville for what it's known about all around the world right now, and that's a great city that's on the rise. And part of that is good wages. The average annual wages for the projects located by Louisville Forward have risen 26.3% since 2014, with average wages now for projects located this year at almost $61,000 a year. So we like the number of jobs, but we like jobs that pay well as well, that can support families. And we have really focused on these partnerships with hundreds of companies, but certainly including UPS, where we do strategic planning with you guys. We want to know what's happening today, but also what's happening years down the road so we can be ready for you. And then 8 years ago, when we brought the economic development work back into house and formed Louisville Forward, we laid out a vision for accountability and growing our economy in an equitable and strategic way. And we challenged our team to find new opportunities and innovative new sub-industries that leverage our assets, but also pay more. And you don't get any more unique than the largest automated sorting facility in the world right here at UPS Worldport. We get a lot of sophisticated investors to the city. A lot of people have seen a lot of things. You take them through Worldport, everybody is gaga about what happens there. Just the volumes of product that go through there safely and on time. It's a real testament to what people can do when they work together. Then we've leveraged the longtime strength of our logistics industry to become a leader in the rapid turnaround biomedical and healthcare sector. That's what's resulted also in these high-paying jobs. And so our team at Louisville Forward has been a driving force with our friends at UPS, I think, to redefine what logistics is and what it can do and how it can help people get more products more quickly that are more higher value added with good wages behind them. So it's attract other high-wage companies like Eurofins now, L Diagnostics, IDEX, Crown World, all UPS customers. They grew and moved their operations here to be next to y'all and provide better savings and better service to their customers all around the world. So I want to thank our friends here at UPS, with whom we've grown a really strong and collaborative relationship. When you look at the last 10 years and add these investments announced today, UPS has invested about $1.2 billion in its facilities and operations in Louisville. That's one hell of a commitment. We really appreciate that. And the city of Louisville's relationship here, as I close out, goes beyond investments just in facilities and job creation. You guys have been a longtime community partner to help our community as well, particularly during COVID-19 pandemic. You provided funding, masks, not to say the central role you played to help our country get better by shipping vaccines all over the country. And then the Metro College Initiative is a global best practice for filling a workforce need and building the education outcomes of our community as well. It's a great partnership between the state and the city and UPS and the University of Louisville and Jefferson Community and Technical College. So you put all this together, and you can see why UPS is an employer of choice, not just for our city, but for the country as well. And you can start out with those entry-level jobs like Nando talked about and have a pretty good job at the end of that day. So thank you for modeling that for us. In early 2020, UPS recommitted to our Metro College program through at least 2027, allowing more people to access their careers in high-demand jobs and expand their careers. So I will just close by saying what our central message is of the day, and that is thank you to UPS. You guys work hard. I recognize hard work, and you're going 24/7. It's no joke what happens here, and the culture that you all have built that's focused on customers and getting what they expect on time, in good shape, in a safe manner really is unprecedented in this globe. You guys are the leader, and we're very proud that you have chosen our city as your home. God bless you, and thank you again.
As I mentioned earlier, this is the last most likely press conference that we'll do with the mayor. So we wanted to give a small token of our appreciation, because I guess you all have like these limits of what we can give you as a token. So I'm going to ask Nando to join me and Jim to join me in giving this wonderful Boeing 747-8 model. We couldn't give him the real one because the thing. So we're going to scoot over here to get a picture. We'll have you hold it. There.
We have bigger ones, but
I want to put it together, but
Yeah. Well, the mayor's going to have plenty of time to put that together. So. All right. Thank you all very much. If you need glue for that, let me know. Thank you, Mayor. And I hope it doesn't take you long to put it together. But and now I'll introduce Kentucky Speaker of the House, David Osborne. He and the legislature have passed multiple pieces of legislation that have helped to ensure growth in Kentucky. Most recently, the legislature passed several tax reform measures which will keep Kentucky competitive with surrounding states. Specifically, lowering individual income tax rate will help UPS be able to continue to recruit talent from outside. And I know that went probably unnoticed during the process, but I will tell you that is really, really important for us. And the most important is that the House and the Speaker understand what business taxes mean to a company like us, and what the importance is to make sure those taxes are competitive from across the country. So with that said, Speaker Osborne.
I told Nick I wouldn't mention taxes. Nick, thank you. Greatly appreciated. Nando, thank you for coming to Kentucky. And Jim, thank you for making your home in Kentucky. Great to have you in Prospect, just down the road from me. But mainly, thank you to all of those involved with UPS here. Such an incredible corporate citizen here in Louisville, and such incredible ambassadors for your company as well as for this city. Thank you, particularly for the work done during the pandemic. Obviously, we all got to be painfully familiar with the word supply chain issues, and I think most of us are very cognizant of what those supply chain issues would have been without the incredible work and diligence of UPS and its partners, which is, I think, underscores the importance of this medical and healthcare announcement, and what a great partnership that will be. The growth of UPS here in Louisville has been nothing short of extraordinary. Not only has it become the region's largest employer, but as has been mentioned, provided educational opportunities to tens of thousands of people who would not have otherwise been able to attain higher education. I actually have a nephew who was one that was able to parlay his time at UPS into a college degree. So very, very thankful for that. And I know it's continuing to expand, and we have solidified that for another 6 years in this budget. It's also a testament to the work that we've done since 2017 to make Kentucky a better place. Obviously, UPS's presence here in Louisville has been much longer than that. But these expansion plans, I think, have coincided in large part by the pro-growth, pro-business policies that we've put in place since 2017, whether it be repealing protectionist policies, whether it be eliminating hundreds of job-killing regulations, whether it be to passing pro-business, pro-growth policies like lowering the corporate income tax, reforming workers' comp, reforming unemployment insurance, and laying the process in place to eliminate Kentucky's personal income tax, making us more competitive for an ever-mobile workforce. It's also caused us to redouble our efforts to tackle Kentucky's workforce issues, whether that be in record investment in workforce training, whether it be public assistance reform, or whether it be extending educational opportunities for all across the Commonwealth. It's also seen us get our fiscal house in order so we can take advantage of these opportunities. I also want to thank the Cabinet for Economic Development and the Governor's Office for their incredible partnership over the last several years of helping us fine-tune our economic development opportunities and our economic development policies that are no longer a one-size-fits-all. And with the leadership at the Cabinet and the Governor's Office, we've been able to fine-tune those policies, allowing us to tailor them to individual circumstances to make opportunities like this a reality. Again, I thank all of you associated with UPS. Thank you for your continued investment in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Thank you for your presence here in Louisville. And we seem to do this every year or two. I remember we were on the backside of the airport just a year or two ago to make another announcement. So I'm ready to pencil in another one for next November if you all are ready. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Next, I have the honor of introducing Senate President Robert Stivers, who has been a champion of economic growth in the Commonwealth. While Senate President Stivers hails from Eastern Kentucky, he has personally taken an active role in lifting communities all across the state, including here in West Louisville. The West End Partnership, which he helped to champion and UPS is proud to support, will serve as a needed catalyst to further the great work already happening in the West End. These investments will also afford workforce development opportunities for many of us in the region, which is so critical in this juncture. So we are so thankful for his support and so thankful for the support of the state Senate. So without further ado, Senate President Stivers.
Thank you, Nick, and thank everyone for coming out, all the people here in front, my colleagues, the governor. I appreciate the remarks there, but I'm going to take a little bit different path than Speaker Osborne did. But I do want to thank everybody that's been involved in creating all the growth programs that we've seen. And the Metro College has been tremendous. Yes, it will be up in 2027 for extending the tax credits to continue to go and grow. To the judge, in Bullitt County, I've had many people come to me and say, some of them haven't been allowed to say that they're going to locate there, but to say, well, we're going to locate in Bullitt County. And why are we doing it? UPS. And so you see everything that's gone on, the investment here that has taken place that has helped Louisville. And as Nick said, well, I'm from Southeast Kentucky. Why would I take an interest? Well, you all have done great here in Louisville. Let's forget about the multi-billion-dollar investments. Let's forget about the thousands of jobs created. Let's go to Eastern Kentucky. You've got a regional hub in London that a lot of that depends on what happens here. And then we want to talk about COVID. It was great that you all did all the work on COVID, but what type of partnership does UPS have with the whole state? Well, there was a little flood down in my area. And I can tell you, yes, it is great what happens to COVID and what you all did with COVID and all the experience that was there and all the effort you put forward. But when you have a secretary, a client, and a father-in-law that were ravaged by the floods, it's an amazing thing to see 5 UPS trucks pull into a parking lot to deliver supplies to the people of Eastern Kentucky. And I want to thank the employees and the staff and the management of UPS for not what all goes on just in Louisville, but what happens in the rural parts of the state. This is the type of partnership UPS has built with the Commonwealth. Creation of jobs, creation of opportunity, creation of a tax base, and helping the whole state rise, because with the rising tide, all ships are lifted. So with that, this is a good day, not just for Mayor, Jefferson County, and Louisville, and Bullitt County. This is a good day for the Commonwealth, because this means so much to everyone in this Commonwealth, and our flag says it best. United we stand, and divided we fall. So to UPS, the management and staff and employees, thank you all for being a good corporate partner.
Thank you very much, President Stivers. Last but certainly not least, I have the honor to introduce Governor Andy Beshear. Governor Beshear has been a champion of economic development since the day he took office. And the governor's team is aggressive and are successfully competing against states traditionally known as economic development powerhouses such as Tennessee, yes, right, previously known, such as Tennessee and Georgia. Now, I just want to be clear. I'm talking about economic development, not SEC football. Just to be clear. No, that's not a knock on Kentucky. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I will say this, though. I mentioned this earlier. About this time last year, the governor called me and he said, what about a program where we could basically make sure that every outgoing JCPS student can get a job at either UPS, Ford, or GE, and I'm forgetting Kroger. Do you think something like that would work? And I was like, well, we're always looking for a workforce, so absolutely. So we got our HR team together. I see Tony back there, and now there's some. Boy, you led a program, and the masses assembled within weeks. We were able to turn around a program within a couple of weeks, and that program has been successful, and will continue to be successful as time goes on. So we can't thank enough the leadership of the governor, and without further ado, the governor.
Good afternoon, everybody. What a great day for UPS and for the Commonwealth. I want to thank UPS for having us here today. And Nando, I was thinking about two things you said that struck me. Number one, did you hear him talk about us right here in Kentucky being the crown jewel of UPS? How proud does that make you? And number two, that our people are number one. So if you are a Kentuckian working at UPS, I agree, you're number one. And if you're from Indiana working here, you're a close second. Just think about today. This is not just an announcement and a celebration of one project, but really four job-creating opportunities that are going to create great careers for Kentuckians and some lucky Hoosiers too. We've got a $200+ million hangar behind us, and isn't it massive? And we're building it right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It's going to create amazing jobs that are going to keep their pilots safe and make sure we can continue delivering from Kentucky all around the world. The second is the $70 million plus aviation program they're creating, giving more opportunities for folks right here in this region. And the third and fourth in Jefferson and in Bullitt County, Judge, we just keep making announcements, don't we? Whether it's the expansion of broadband, water, and sewer that we've worked on today, it's jobs, and it's the expansion of healthcare and UPS's involvement in it. That one is over $300 million, over 400 jobs. Let's give a big round of applause to UPS for all four of these programs. And during these last two record-setting years, we talk a lot about the size of the investments, but let's remember, it's about those jobs and careers. And each job or each career is an individual. It's dignity to that Kentuckian. It's how you look across the table and know how you're going to provide for your family and how you're going to hopefully leave your kids better off every single one of these projects. is going to benefit our families right here in the region and in Bullitt County, and it's going to create brighter tomorrows, not just for that individual, but for their kids and their grandkids. It's going to help create intra-generational change. That's just one of the ways that this company supports our people and our record-breaking economy. Folks rely on UPS day in and day out. And whether that's to address their supply chain issues right now or to be one of the most important partners we had in Kentucky and indeed throughout the world during COVID-19, I got to see firsthand that UPS always delivers. First, it was when that pandemic hit and our healthcare heroes who we were asking to walk into COVID wings didn't have the PPE they needed. And UPS, our workers right here, came together and donated just about everything they could find so those healthcare workers could just be a little safer. And we thank you for that. But then, UPS was the key driver, and I mean driver, in delivering life-saving vaccines that I believe were a miracle from God, and how quickly they came and how effective they were. I will never forget the day where we were waiting for that UPS truck to pull up with the very first life-saving vaccines at U of L, where we were going to administer the first vaccines. And I remember standing there at the bay. I got there early, and how excited I was when it pulled up. A driver got out, and we realized it was the wrong truck. Because y'all deliver so often, there was a scheduled delivery even before that one. But I'll remember two faces of that day. And those are the two faces that I remember knowing that we were ultimately going to win this battle. That's a battle that's taken 17,400 Kentucky lives. I mean, it's a true war we've lived through. And the first was getting to shake hands with UPS driver Byron Bishop, who delivered those first set of vaccines that day. And I remember talking to him about how proud he was and the fact that he was not going to leave its side until it was fully delivered and put in that refrigeration system. The second was Dr. Val over there at U of L, the second person to get the vaccine. First time I met her was that day, and she had just lost her 20th patient walking down to get her vaccine. But even in the midst of that tragedy that she was living through, that day spawned hope. It was in many ways the beginning of the end of the pandemic, and it was delivered in a UPS truck. And I remember getting to come here at Worldport and watching how you were tracking the delivery of vaccines, not just all over America, but all over the world. And the pride I felt as governor of Kentucky and a Kentuckian, knowing I think the largest percentage of vaccines delivered anywhere in the world have come through this facility. Let's give UPS and all its workers a big round of applause. And today, coming out of this pandemic, being able to all be here together and never take that for granted again, thanks to so many of the UPS workers and so many that sacrificed for so many years, we're looking at a bright future. We're coming out of a dark, difficult time, but looking at a brighter tomorrow than many of us thought was possible. You just look back on last year, even in the height of the pandemic. Kentucky didn't break. It shattered every economic development record in the books, and UPS was a big part of that. You look at the fact in the last 18 months, we've become the electric vehicle battery production capital of the United States of America, with Ford investing $5.8 billion in E-Town, and Envision investing $2 billion in Warren County. You look at the fact that we're becoming the agri-tech capital of the United States of America, that we have the lowest unemployment in our history. It's been below 4% since April. We have never seen that many months of that low level of unemployment. You think about the fact that we have the fewest people on unemployment since the year 2000. Or as the speaker mentioned, we've had the two largest budget surpluses in our history the last 2 years, with the largest one coming at the end of this fiscal year. Or you look at the fact that we did something in Kentucky I never remember us doing. You realize in August, Kentucky led the entire country in new job growth. We were number one. And in September, we tied for number one. Now, I'm happy for New Hampshire, but that was a second straight month that our Commonwealth was leading this country in something that we are so proud of. We would never be at this point. We would never be looking at a brighter potential future for our kids and grandkids without UPS. And it gets us closer to that collective dream I know we all fight for, because every parent and grandparent here shares one. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's that our kids or our grandkids will never have to leave Kentucky or this region if they don't want to, because we make sure every opportunity is available for them right here. And let me tell you guys, with what you all are going to pay people right back here, with the additions to the healthcare sector that you're creating in Jefferson and in Bullitt County, with all the opportunities you provide to get through college while having a good job in that partnership, you're making that dream, everybody's dreams, possible, not just for our kids, but for a dad with the 12 and 13-year-old who loves being with them every day, that can hear the clock ticking for how many days I have left with that. You're giving us more hope here in Kentucky about what we can be. And I'll tell you what I think we can be. I think we can be one of the top economies in the United States. We're sitting here at a chance to not just leapfrog 10 other states' economies, but to be a top 10 state economy. And I think, as President Stivers was talking about, when it comes to economic development, we are all in this together. No red, no blue. Every time we've needed to get something done, the legislature has been there. Every time they've needed us to get something done, we've wanted to sit down at that table. Now, this special moment, made possible by UPS, I think is an example of all of us putting anything we previously argue about aside and realizing a good job and a good future is more important than any of the rest of it. So, to our state legislature, to our mayor here, to our airport board that does such a good job, to all of our county judges, today is an incredible day. And to all the UPS workers that are here, thank you for what you do. Thank you for leading us forward. If you didn't prove what a great workforce we had right here, none of these expansions would be happening. We all like to get up here and take credit for it. But I know the drive that this company sees in each and every one of you is why they continue to invest. As a parent and as governor, I'm grateful for you. And when you invest hundreds of millions of dollars in Kentucky, we make sure we have a gift for you. It is a way to say thank you and continue to feel free to expand, but given there's construction going on behind us. So Nando, if you would please come up here and accept this gift on behalf of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. God bless. And if I can, just real quickly, we had a pretty serious bus accident in McGoffin County this morning. It includes both a driver that's in a rough condition as well as at least a couple kids. Pray for them, right? Those are our Kentucky kids, children of God, and I believe all of our prayers together can and will make a difference. Thank you.
It's a great place to work, and they will improve the Commonwealth. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that today is November 14th. There are now 40 shipping days between now and the big day. So if you haven't do it, ship early and ship often. So please do that. And one last thing for housekeeping before we close out here. We're going to have all of the folks that spoke and all of our VIPs that I mentioned, and you as well, please, since I forgot to mention you when you came in. Please join us as we join back here for the signing of this beam that's behind us. This beam will be erected in the facility, so we're all going to sign it. And for the media folks, don't worry. I know you're like, oh my gosh, you're going to have to run up here. We'll give you a few minutes to get in place. We'll do the signing. Then we'll have everybody stand behind the beam for the photo op, okay? So with that, if I can have most of you join up here, and we're going to do the signing of the beam. Thank you all very much.
Step the camera I don't